I got another requested video by Flaming Tables Jr. and he wants to know how I think the Generation 6 cars would run on some tracks that are no longer on the schedule compared to say the 86, 88 Monte Carlos, which were basically the aero coupes. They come out with the slope rear windows, a little more aerodynamic than the straight back rear windows. Well, just a bit of history on when those particular cars originally debuted, the 110-inch wheelbase cars down from the 115 plus, was 1981. And let me tell you, from what I remember, you can probably get the whole 81 Daytona 500 on YouTube, won by Richard Petty, basically on pit strategy. He didn't like that car. It was a Buick Regal at the time, which probably had the best nose at the time. The Monte Carlo's nose was different than the newer ones come out in 83, but said something to the effect of powerful and loose. But the drivers had gotten comfortable with the big cars that were run basically the same chassis design. And if you're on Facebook, get on NASCAR history until 1972, and you can learn a lot about the cars. There's a guy, Jack HM guy, who is Dr. John Kraft, who's written some books and preserved some stock cars. Really has some information on the cars of that era, which were very similar to what was still being run chassis wise as late as 1980. But as far as, I'm not an aerodynamic expert by any means. Now, North Wilkesboro, I don't think it would have made a difference. You wouldn't have the aero push and all that garbage they talk about today. In fact, North Wilkesboro, I remember one race, I think Neil Bonnet either won or come close to winning it on 7 cylinders driving for Junior Johnson. In fact, he ran so good, Darrell Waltrip in the team car, they jerked the plug wire off. Neil was running faster. That's the story Darrell tells. Take it for what it's worth. Okay? It's Darrell Waltrip. I think if you've watched some of my vlogs, you know my opinion of him as a commentator. I mean, back in the day, his car was pretty fast, but actually his mouth was faster. I kid you not. Cale Yarborough nicknamed him Jaws. And they had a big thing about it, but so be it. But Rockingham, it's hard to say. Like I say, I don't know enough about aerodynamics. I never got to Rockingham or North Wilkesboro. I would have liked to have gotten to both tracks, but financially, and the charter tour we were going on out of Louisville never went to neither track. I mean, we went several, and we had good times. We went to Charlotte, Darlington, went to Richmond once. I don't particularly care for Richmond, to be honest with you. Plus, I'd rather been at a short track race that night in Indianapolis, but it's run on the same night every year, and I got talked into missing it one year, and I've kicked myself ever since, but that's another story. But I think Gen 6 cars would have been interesting at Rockingham. The trucks did run there a time or two and put on a pretty good show after it reopened. I think it's closed now. I don't even know, but it's hard to say. But North Wilkesboro, I would love to see them put 100,000 seats around North Wilkesboro and take one of the races off the cookie cutter tracks. Disclaimer, one of the tracks that has 2 races. I mean, I don't want to see a Kentucky or Chicagoland that only has one lose a race. Of course, I go to Kentucky, I'm only an hour away. So, but yeah, I'd like to see him back in North Wilkesboro. I'd like to see him back at Rockingham, because I thought they put on some pretty good shows there. I've only ever got to watch them on TV, but Gen 6 cars, Rockingham, I don't know. Wilkesboro, I don't think it'd matter. But just been my opinion. Again, I'm certainly no expert on aerodynamics. Only have a high school education, so but I know a sleek looking car when I see one.